Hello, everybody, and welcome to Red Wings Daily, presented to you by FanArch. I'm your host, Kirk MckNight, coming to you from the southwest corner of Washington State, some 2,454 miles from Little Caesars Arena. So, as I like to say up here in the Pacific Northwest, LGRW from the PNW. Now, the Red Wings have a lot to be grateful for, and we as fans have a lot to be grateful for following last night's win against the Seattle Kraken, as the Red Wings have 4 straight games in which they have scored a team point. They have a total of 7 out of a possible 8 over those 4 games. And the 1 point that they missed out on was the overtime loss to the Buffalo Sabres last Saturday, a game in which the Red Wings actually had a 3-goal lead, but they have been able to recuperate, win 2 straight, including one on the road at Madison Square Garden against a very tough New York Rangers team. So last night's victory in and of itself was great to get the 2 points and to hold off the Kraken. That journey became a little bit more of a rocky one because the Red Wings, with Danielson, the rookie, already having scored a goal, thought they had a 3-1 lead when he scored his second goal. Now, coach's challenge showed that the play was offside. The goal gets taken off the board. It's 2-1 Red Wings again, and then the Kraken scored to tie it 2-2. A lot of the times what will happen is a team with that 2-goal swing will get it into their heads a little bit too much, grip their sticks a little tighter, and think that this game is just not destined to be ours and let's just chalk it up and move on to the next one. Luckily, the Red Wings did not do that. They scored a go-ahead goal before the second period was over, held off the Kraken for the third period, and even scored that insurance empty net goal at the last minute of regulation. Another really positive to take from last night's win against the Kraken is the fact that the rookie class for the Red Wings, that's Danielson, Finney, and Sandin Pelican, combined for 4 total points. Now, we already mentioned the fact that Danielson scored 1 goal and could have had 2, but the fact that those guys combined for those 4 points is very encouraging in the sense that it doesn't necessarily put all the weight on the shoulders of the veterans out there. It doesn't make it look like Kane, DeBrincat, Larkin, Raymond, Sider, you name it, that they have to handle all the offense. If this third and fourth lines can start to really score and contribute and take a little bit of the weight off of those veterans and those top 2 lines, it really will pay off and show dividends, especially in the 2/3 and 3/4 part of the season in which the fatigue starts to show for some of these older players, and they got to really rely on the younger players to kind of allow them to get into their reserves to get that postseason run and to really make a showing. So the fact that the Red Wings were able to get the young involved in it and to have them score and be effective was a positive sign along with the victory. Now, speaking of the victory and the 2 points gained by last night's game, the Red Wings jumped into first place in the Atlantic Division over the Idle Bruins. Now, not only are the Red Wings a point ahead of the Bruins, but they also have a game in hand. So the last few games have really shown what a difference those possible 8 points can make. Before they went on this 4-game point streak, the Wings had lost 3 in a row, and they went from 3rd to 5th. Actually, they went from 2nd to 5th, and now they've gone from 5th to 1st. So these kinds of things are what we're going to have to pay attention to and really keep an eye on as the season moves on. We're about a 5th of the way into the season right now. Obviously, it's still too young, too early, but you can never take for granted or underestimate the power of some of these 1-2 points shifts. The Red Wings 2 seasons ago lost 7 straight games later in the season, and they ended up finding out game 82 during the shootout that they were no longer relevant as far as the playoffs go. So you sometimes tend to get this mentality early in the season, like what's the difference? It's a point. Well, that difference, that point in November 18th, when you're playing in April 12th and it's game 82, and you don't have the tiebreaker, and you're just hoping that across the pond or wherever, across the lake, we'll say, that the team didn't get the 2 points and that you still have a chance, but you're finding out in the shootout that you don't. those are the kinds of things that the Red Wings have recently experienced in the last couple of years to extend that playoff-less streak to a full 9 seasons after having 25 straight years of playoff appearances. So all these things will add up. That bottleneck's going to get tighter the farther the season goes, and you're going to want to be up above the bottleneck. You're going to want to be where that cap screws on, where you get that first fresh gust of carbonation as you open it up. That's what the Red Wings want. They don't want to be stuck there wondering if they're going to be one day third and then the next day fifth and not even getting that, possibly not even getting that wild card appearance and wild card spot. So just to think about those kinds of things, it's a good position to be in, to be up by a point with a game in hand, especially as hot as some of the teams have kind of shown. The Lightning looked like they were absolutely nowhere to be seen the first few games, and then they got extremely hot. Same thing with Ottawa and same thing with Boston. Luckily, Boston seems to be in there a little bit of a middling state right now, and the Red Wings have been able to capitalize on and leapfrog them. So we're going to hope that continues, especially with a couple of the games that the Red Wings have coming up. A couple of those games where you kind of expect the 2 points and you hope for them. Now, speaking of 2 points, it seems like every game DeBrincat's coming up with 2 points, whether it be 2 goals, 2 assists. The guy is on fire. The guy is in fuego. Despite not scoring any goals in his first 8 games, DeBrincat went 4 straight goals and had 7 points overall over that 4 straight goal span. Did a little bit of a back to the valley after the peaks, had 1 point in 4. But then in the last 4 games, he's gone 8 points over his last 4 games. And on the season, he's got 9 goals and 23 points. He's only second in points to Dylan Larkin, but he is first in power play goals and power play points as well. DeBrincat has really come into his own. When I found out that DeBrincat was coming to the Red Wings, I was super excited because I knew how great of a player he was in Chicago. And then Kane comes to rejoin him, and the two are doing exactly what they did in Chicago by combining on goals and assists and just padding that stat that they already own as far as American-born duos in NHL history to team up for goals and assists. So DeBrincat is showing a lot of promise. Kane didn't have any points in last night's game, but he as well is showing some promise. But like I said, DeBrincat has been very streaky and very solid, especially in these last few games, and has really capitalized and has really brought the power play back to where the coaches and the fans really want it to be more effective and to be more successful. And I think he's been a big part of that. You can obviously see he's leading the team in power play goals and power play points, putting that, even though he's at a -1 on the season, he still is effective in that point of being able to produce a solid and effective power play and keep the Red Wings relevant as the game progresses. So now, folks, we're come to my favorite part of the program. We call it the No Cap Recap, a point in which we will take a post-game conference quote, either be a player, broadcaster, or obviously my favorite, McClellan, which we'll do right now, and we throw it through the slang translator, courtesy of AI. Sorry, AI, but you're here, and we might as well just use you for our benefit. But we'll start with McClellan talking about last night's game. Like I already mentioned, the seesaw kind of battle and the slowing down of the pace with the coach's challenge came into effect for McClellan, and he noticed it. Tonight was a tough game to play. There was no rhythm in the game at all. It was scrambly. I think after 2 periods, we had 45 faceoffs. We had the delay. Throw in all the TV timeouts. It just didn't feel like there was any rhythm at all for the players. So they had to really stay focused, stay on task. It was a type of game whoever was going to score next was probably going to win because there wasn't a lot of offense at all. I thought our guys did a good job of getting that goal, staying in the game, and then in the third, where it kind of became like a real game, like a flowy game, I thought we managed it well. Now let's throw that one into the AI translator and see what comes out the other end. Tonight's game was straight up brutal, man. Zero flow, just a chaotic mess. Feels like we had like a million face-offs after just 2 periods, plus that delay. Ugh. All those TV timeouts totally killed the vibe for the dudes, so they had like really lock in and stay focused. Felt like whoever sniped the next goal was going to clutch the W because the offense was dead. Props to our guys for bagging that goal, sticking it out, and then in the third, when it finally got its acts together and got flowy, we totally nailed it. I haven't quoted Larkin yet in the No Cap recap, and I'm glad to take advantage of this opportunity. Larkin, talking about Danielson, had this to say. It felt like he just needed to get one. We're talking about Danielson's goal here. Look at what a little bounce can do. A little confidence. He made a heck of a play to Finn as well. He's rock solid and steady defensively. I think he was just itching to break through, and it's important to get the first one out of the way in any season, but also in your career. A credit to him for sticking with it and going to the net. Now let's throw that bad boy into the Gen Z translator. It felt like he just needed to snag one, Check out what a little bounce can do, a kind of confidence. He totally killed it with that play to Finn, too. He's super dependable and solid on D. I think he was just really eager to make his mark, and it's crucial to get the first one in, whether it's a new season or your career. Props to him for staying with it and getting to the net. No cap. Speaking of no cap, that was your no cap recap. And folks, looking forward in the week, we're going to have a Throwback Thursday on our off day. And the Red Wings are hosting the Columbus Blue Jackets, so we'll hope for another 2 points there. Again, this has been Red Wings Daily, presented to you by FanArch. I'm your host, Kirk MckNight, author of The Voices of Hockey. Broadcasters reflect on the fastest game on earth, and all I have to say to you now is LGRW from the PNW.